Hello, how you doing? I'm good, thank you for asking. I just got done running. And I'm out of shape, so that's why I'm out of breath. But I hope you liked my guitar playing. I first picked up a guitar probably a year and a half ago, and I don't practice. I don't pay for lessons. I just use YouTube and then this app called Musician. Pretty good app. There's also Ultimate Guitar, which gives you chords and the notes to play for songs. I don't know why it took so long to get out, but it gives you songs to play on the Ultimate Guitar app. And then the third one that I use for guitar is called Guitar Tuna, but it's a guitar tuner. You could also tune your ukulele. Also, shout out to this guy, Andy Guitar, who I started learning how to play the ukulele with on his free YouTube videos, and then I started some of his guitar stuff. Great guy. Anyway, now to our feature presentation. White people do not want to give up their status over black people. As it is, for example, America started with racial injustice, started with slavery, and so whites were always higher on the social status bar meter. And a big part of the reason why there's been so much friction and why it's taking too long, or it's taking very long for racial justice to occur on an equal and consistent level in our country, is because whites don't want to give up our status. I think it's a really deep, not on the surface issue that me as a white person I don't always see, but it's pretty clear that we're fearful of giving up power. It's the way we've lived forever in societal terms, but and so we're used to not having the same fears as minorities and black people. And I think that needs to change. We should all be equal. We should go through a phase where we are scared to we should go through a phase where we're scared to be equal. We're scared, even if it means allowing blacks to be of higher status than us for a period of time, as long a time as we need until we're equal. We're just so scared to not let whites become as equal as blacks. We're so scared of us of blacks becoming higher, we don't want to give up our power. We keep saying we want things to be like equal, but we don't want ever for blacks to get ahead. We always want things to be under our control, or blacks to be under us. And I think about an analogy of my health or anyone's health. I'm doing yoga right now, trying to stretch my body so that my body can function better, for digestion, for better range of motion, for a bunch of different health things. But I'm never going to be, this is like perfection, this is 100%. You're never going to be there. You're never going to be, we're never going to be perfect. We're an imperfect being. All beings are. And to think that we're never going to go above or below the metaphorical bar of perfection is irrational. We're always going to come above or below what we think is right. We're always going to come above or below equality and balance. And so it's okay if blacks become above whites in a figure of speech. I don't know, for example, like giving black people whatever food they want to eat and not letting us have dessert as much, not letting whites have dessert as much. You know, they're going to be living in that great nutrition, and we're going to suffer just like they've been suffering for so long. And I think we'll eventually get to balance, but we have so much friction towards letting them have a little bit more pleasantries than we have. So wake up. Things have been running the same since 1776, or since America started. We run on the same principles as 1776. Same principles that we started with slavery, with the business mindset of getting ahead, with the basically all the principles that we have in our Constitution and our Bill of Rights, we still think are 100% true and just to America in this day and age. Over 200 years ago. I don't think it's rational to think the same things we believed back then are the same things we believe now. Yet we run on the same principles as we did back then, over 200 years ago. It's kind of like how everyone's going towards a more vegan diet, or everyone's cutting out dairy or gluten or what have you. And back then that wasn't a thing. You would always eat your milk, bread, and eggs, and that was a healthy way of eating. And that's not what we see as a healthy way. There are aspects of health, of bettering your health, in eating milk, bread, and eggs, but we've become so technologically savvy that we understand that it's not for everyone to eat milk, bread, and eggs. And so we live on different principles of health as we did over 200 years ago. Another example is I don't play golf the same way I did when I first picked it up like 2 years ago. I didn't understand anxiety the way I do now. I didn't understand how similar I am to a dog or a tree as I did 2 years ago. I didn't understand how life really worked, or how this country or the society worked, until I hit puberty, or my frontal lobe developed, or just these past 2 years after I woke up. I didn't believe in the same things I do now. I don't think we can expect ourselves to believe in the same things we did in 1776 as we do now. So why should we lead our country that way? My video cut off yesterday when I said that we have enough resources for everyone in the world. There's enough food and water for everyone in the world to be healthy and drink and eat a healthy and nutritious amount for them to live the same way others live. It's just that the balance of power is shifted. It's uneven, it's unbalanced, it's not equal. Just like the injustice of race, there's a lot of things that are unequal. And I've talked about how we have environmental inequality, we have medical inequality, we have economic inequality, we have nutritional inequality, we have racial inequality, injustice. We have spiritual inequality, we have religious inequality, and we don't need always to be equal, but it would behoove ourselves to inch closer and closer to that perfection. We don't need to shoot right up. Inching ourselves closer and closer is just another point of life. Getting closer to love is getting closer to everything that your being entails, which means getting closer to its true nature and its true health and its true spirit. And the same analogy as in an individual and their balance is the same as society. We want to be true to society's love and purpose, and that means creating a better balance of economic, medical, social, racial, spiritual justice. And I watched this show on TNT called The Arena, where they talk about the racial injustice in our country. And they were talking, I only watched the beginning, and they were talking about how the same problems we've been fighting to change in the 1900s are the same problems we're dealing with now. It's the same conversations, it's the same issues. So it's very close to being the exact same. But you gotta look at it that our beliefs have changed. I mean, they've been altered. We have more information at our hands now than we did 100 years ago. So we bring to the table a lot more. And it just saddens us even more deeply that we still have these same issues. Same types of issues, at least. I don't think tackling one issue individually is going to be beneficial, is going to be sustainable. What I mean is, if we fix racial injustice, it's only going to crumble eventually when we go to fix other issues. You start brick by brick with each issue, and you lay a foundation, you lay some goals down and some strategies and deliberations. And so I think to help little by little in all areas, in all issues, is a better means than to fix one issue. For example, fixing the big problem or a big issue the Black Lives Matter or the racial injustice movement is trying to tackle is police reform. And while I think there should be police reform and possible defunding of police, if we were to do that, there are still areas that we won't be able to handle as good with a lessened police force. I mean, there's that commercial in politics right now where they have, it's implied that it's during this time and there's a 911 call ringing and there's an answering machine saying we can't get to the phone right now because we've been defunded or what have you. And while I think that I don't think that's not what we really mean by defunding the police. I don't think they should ever not have people on the job and people answering the phones, because people need help all the time. It's just that's... Don't go on a rant. It's just that social injustice and systemic racism has bled into the way police operate in a way that doesn't really serve our people justly. And so, hopping off that tangent, if we were to fix, if we were to defund the police or reform the police in a certain area, that could have drastic political and economic changes. It's kind of like the domino effect, or building a skyscraper with supports only on this side and not on this side. It's about building the whole foundation from the ground up, brick by brick, evenly. And I just think that we are at a point in our lives, in society, where we understand so much more than what we used to understand. And it's time to break out of our shells and fight for what's right, become equal, balanced, and serve ourselves for the better.